WFTX-02 right now, covering the terror in Orlando. This morning, investigators still have a lot more questions than answers, as you can imagine, as they search for the motive behind the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history. New details are still being revealed, but right now, we know authorities say 29-year-old Omar Mateen killed at least 49 in the massacre before police eventually killed him during a shootout. Agents with the FBI, which once investigated Mateen for 10 months, now say they're highly confident that he was radicalized by extremism on the internet. They're also investigating Mateen's possible ties to ISIS, along with others that could have been in on that mass shooting. They also say Mateen spoke with a 911 operator 3 times amid Sunday's attack and pledged allegiance to ISIS during the last call. Meanwhile, authorities have identified all of the victims of that attack. Fox 4 Rising has team coverage this morning. Anchor Chris Shaw is in Orlando right now. Chris, good morning to you. You've been spending some time there. How has the mood shifted, or has it?
I think it has shifted, Miriam, a little bit. I mean, obviously, there is still a tremendous amount of grief here, and that mourning will continue for weeks. But I believe last night into today, there has been a little bit of shift. The community definitely coming together, and there is a sense of hope here in Orlando. We'll get to that in just a second, but as you can see with the flashing lights behind me, the area around the Pulse nightclub is still a very active police scene. The investigation continues here. The nightclub is the focus of the investigation in Orlando, but there is another investigation in Fort Pierce focusing on the life of the suspect in this case, Omar Mateen. And brand new this morning, we're learning about a possible break-in his home in Fort Pierce. Let's go now to Andrew Ruiz. He's in Fort Pierce with more.
Steps are being taken to secure the complex that the Orlando shooter lived in. There are police officers parked out front after someone broke into the shooter's apartment Monday. The FBI secured the condo and a car belonging to the shooter, yet the Fort Pierce Police Department reports someone entered the condo through the patio door. Although we did not go in, several news outlets did. They said it was apparent that a child lived there. The shower curtain was of Darth Vader, and a bedroom was filled with Mickey Mouse, Captain America, and Star Wars toys. Fort Pierce police are investigating this incident as a burglary case.
We're treating this incident as a burglary, just like we would with any other burglary. Crime scene came out, and our Criminal Investigations Bureau is investigating all the leads.
Right now, the FBI is continuing its investigation into the Orlando shooting. There are reports the shooter had been to the Pulse nightclub before. The Los Angeles Times reports at least 4 regulars at the bar recall seeing him there before. Investigators are also looking at reports that the shooter was using gay dating apps. The shooter's wife was seen here picking up some personal items. Right now, we don't know what their plans are with the condo. In Fort Pierce, Andrew Ruiz, Fox 4 in your corner.
Andrew, thank you very much. Now, this morning we're learning President Obama will travel to Orlando Thursday to honor the victims of the shooting. The White House says the president plans to pay his respects to the victims' families and stand in solidarity with the community. We are expecting to hear more from President Obama about the shooting today after a national security meeting about shutting down the money flow to ISIS. And thousands of people gathered in downtown Orlando last night for a vigil to support the victims and survivors of the Pulse shooting. Many in the crowd said they were inspired to attend because Pulse played a huge role in their lives as part of the LGBT community. The vigil was held on the lawn of the Dr. Phillips Center, the area's main performing arts venue. It's also the location of a makeshift memorial where folks have been leaving flowers, candles, and notes for the victims. We've seen a number of vigils here in Orlando, all over Florida and the world, in fact. 4 in your corners, Malcolm Johnson is live at Florida Gulf Coast University, where there's going to be a vigil for victims today. Malcolm.
Well, good morning, Chris. This morning here at FGCU, the home of the Eagles, you see the mascot just over my shoulder. There will be a vigil held here tonight at 7 p.m. And really, it's a chance for those here in the community, even though the school year has gotten out, to recognize those who have lost their lives, those who have fallen, and those who are grieving the Orlando shootings. And what I can tell you is it will be held tonight here at the Veteran Pavilion on campus. And these types of gatherings have been taking place across the globe in countries including France, Australia, the UK, and even Germany. Last night, Fox 4's Lisa Greenberg reported in Sarasota, where a vigil was held with those in attendance promoting a message of love being stronger than that of hate.
we're not taking steps backwards, but we're just going to keep pushing forward and trying to raise awareness and change minds that might not accept that we just want to love who we want to love and be who we are.
Back here on the campus of Florida Gulf Coast University, you know, in case we do get some bad weather on this side of town, the vigil will be held inside of the Edwards building, inside of room 112. And staff says they will have members of their counseling department here as necessary. Chris, back to you.
Malcolm, thank you. The severity of this case, the seemingly evilness of it, has people wanting to reach out and do whatever they can, and it's affected, I think, all of us in a certain way. Miriam, today here in Orlando, the investigation will continue. You see the lights behind me. That is obvious. We also expect to see many more vigils and the memorials here grow in Orlando.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure, Chris. Thank you so much. Thanks for bringing us that perspective there in Orlando. Of course, if you cannot stick around and watch Fox 4, you can always go online for the latest as well. It's fox4now.com.